All right. Hello, everyone. I just wanted to share with you about this week's free episode on Patreon. And this week's episode is absolutely loaded with all kinds of fascinating, bizarre stories that you're just not going to want to miss. So many things going on in the shadow war right now between the Luciferians and Malachians. And if you don't understand what that means, be sure you check out the Shadow Wars series on this channel, because you're going to discover an entirely different way of looking at the world that's going to make everything make sense in a world where nothing makes sense. Once you have the lens of Luciferian versus Malachian versus Most High, suddenly the world's just going to snap into focus with you. So with everything happening around the world right now, it's really hard to separate the wheat from the chaff in terms of news stories. So many completely unimportant stories dominate the news, and really important stories go underreported if they're reported at all. And this is especially true for those savvy observers who understand that profoundly deep currents are shaping the shadow war between the Luciferians and Malachians. And that includes everything from international tensions to political maneuvering in the U.S. election, where the stakes have never, ever been higher. This election just seems like, hands down, the most important of my lifetime. And it seems like an inflection point in this great changing of the yugas, which is occurring. Governments are making moves behind closed doors. Major corporations are shifting their allegiances. And new revelations are coming to light every day that could change everything. So in times like these, understanding these hidden levels of reality becomes absolutely crucial. That's why this week we're diving into deep into the stories that matter and the ones that the mainstream media ignores. First up, we're going to be talking about Tucker Carlson's aggressive call out at Madison Square Garden this weekend, something I never thought that I would see. It was actually last weekend. We're going to be talking about the Israeli military leak out of the Pentagon, with the Israeli military plan being leaked, and evidence that Trump is miraculously threading the needle with this conflict between Gaza and Hamas, Hezbollah, and Israel, and the Palestinian people that's unfolding over there. And we're not going to be stopping there. We're diving straight into Jeff Bezos' links to the space race, the real space race, ultra tech, and the competing billionaires in space, and how that's impacting the election in very interesting and unusual ways. So that mystery just deepens with claims in the mainstream media about secret bases on Earth, in the oceans, and perhaps even an underground bases that has come out of mainstream academia and entered into the mainstream media narratives, which is shocking. And as if that wasn't enough, there's a shocking discussion between Trump and Rogan last week where he started to talk about aliens, and a very strange thing kind of unfolded from there. Don't forget, if you're just joining us, you can catch up on all our past episodes over on Patreon. Each week we dive into these critical topics, uncovering the connections and patterns you won't find elsewhere. Next week, we're gearing up for an episode you're not going to want to miss. We're going to be covering the upcoming election, all the shenanigans that are certain to happen during and especially directly after, and digging into the hidden power plays between the Luciferian and Malachian forces that are vying for influence and control on the world stage. So if you're ready to go beyond the headlines and join the conversation, head over to my Patreon. And here's the best part. Your first week is free, and that includes getting caught up on all past episodes, including this week's episode, without any commitment. And you can see just what this channel has to offer and what it means to be a supporter of this channel, and all the kind of exclusive information that only comes through the Patreon aspect. Thank you so much for your support. And if you click the link below and join the community, you can get right into it. And trust me, you're going to want to be seeing these discussions and informations, angelic prophecy, and discussions about the deeper layers of reality and how it's unfolding in front of us in terms of the great spiritual war and political maneuverings that are heralding the great changing of the ages. You don't want to miss it, and I'll see you there. All right. Goodbye.